Okay, so this should be a very quick one. This one has come from a comment, and it was, how can I allow a button to only be clicked once? And this is very straightforward, so we'll do this very quickly. Now, the example was regarding a quiz, so this is where I'll do it. I've just set this page up as a bit of a template, bit of a thing to demonstrate it. So we've got this button here, and we want our user to be able to click it once, so they can not A, change their mind in the quiz, or B, click multiple options and expose a loophole in our app, as if a quiz app, for instance, that allowed them to rack up loads of points. So I think this comes from a sort of beginner tutorial walkthrough I did over a year ago, and I think it's something that maybe I overlooked at the time. So here we go. Okay, so dead easy. If we go for a page state variable and we want to create a new one, and we'll call it button active, and it is Boolean, so that is a true or false value, and we'll allow it to be true when it is activated, and we can confirm that. And then on the button there, on the properties, if we go down, scroll down, and you've got this toggle switch, which is disable options for the button, and basically what we want to do is give it the option to disable or not, and click on the unset there text, and we go conditions, and we go for a single condition, and our first value we're going to look for our page state, which is button active, and second value false. So we'll disable the button when it is false, and our disabled color will set to grey, which is the standard cut for grey and stuff out. So there, turn on to set disabled condition below, so the button will not be clickable. So we need to create an action on the button. So if we go to the action editor and on tap, and all we want to do is, in our state management, update a page state, and we want button active, and we'll set that to false. So when you click the button, we're going to update the page state and set it to false. So once you've clicked it, the button will disable, so you can only click it once, and then it will become not active anymore. And then obviously any other actions that you need to verify the answer to the question, or whatever it is you're doing with that particular button, obviously it might not be a quiz, could be anything, they need to go in here as well. So you put those in as you need them. So that is how you disable the button. You simply just set the variable we've just created to false, and then when it does, it'll activate the disable conditions here, and it will disable the button. And then what you will need to do, if you're ever using the page, or if you're reloading the page, you will need to reset your button back to being able usable again. So if you go into another page, obviously it's not so important, but if you're going to reuse the same page over and over, or your user can come back to this page, or whatever you're using the page for, ultimately when the page loads, the button needs to be active. So what I would do, very simply, on page load, we've got some bits and pieces here which are from just when this app was just being built, but we just add an action that is state management, update page state, button activate, and set the value to true. Okay, so basically what we've done there, when our page loads, we're going to make sure our page state is set to true, i.e. that the button is active. So if button active variable is true, the button will be active, and then when we click the button it sets it to false, and then it becomes inactive. So I'll just very quickly run through that again. So on page load, we've got an action that sets our button active to true. Its default is true anyway, but this just reinforces it if we have set it to false. So we have got our page state, initial field value is true, but at some point we are going to change that. So essentially what we're doing, just reinforcing that with the on page load element of it, and then when your user clicks the button, we are setting the page state to false, and then what that does is triggers the disable button options down here, so it will just deactivate the button and set the disabled colour to grey. And that's how you do it. That is how you disable a button. It is dead simple. Hopefully that answers the question for this particular person that answered it. But I'm sure there's other people that will get some use out of that as well. It's one of them beginner things that if you don't know what you don't know, and sometimes just easier for somebody to tell you the answers. So hopefully that was useful. If it was, as always, please consider the like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you in the next video.